everybody, and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to be installing this tiny little upgrade into the secondary clutch on the RZR. So let me knock this wheel off and the clutch cover and we'll get right into this. Okay, the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking out the 8 screws that hold on the clutch cover. Now, everything you see me taking apart, I'm going to take apart with the electric tools, but I will be putting everything back together by hand. These plastic screw holes are super easy to strip out. So, we're going to do that by hand when we go to put this back together. I should have done the bottom ones first, but there's that one. And now that the cover's loose, go ahead and pull that out. And you can see your gasket and your secondary clutch. These little squares right here are exactly what we're going to be replacing and putting them rollers in there. So let me go ahead and set up the workbench and we'll get on to taking this off. Alright, now that I got the workbench cleaned off, we can go straight over there. This is the clutch tool that actually comes with the unit. They do sell better ones on Amazon and eBay and all that other stuff, but this one works for right now. And first thing you're going to do is you're just going to stick it up in there, and then you're just going to give it a little push and push that clutch down in there. And then me personally, I just take it and then you can pry it back and you can see the belt loosen up there. And next thing we're going to do is just kind of weasel that off of there. Kind of a pain in the butt. This is a brand new unit, so the belt is nice and tight on this. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of roll it off there without smashing my fingers. There we go. Kind of just roll it right on off there. Oh, I'm caught up in there. But as you can see, it's a brand new belt, and things you look for is the cord starting to stick out of that and stuff like that. And you just look at the surface area, and you know, obviously this unit hasn't made it to the first service, but you know, just things to look for as you're taking it apart. Next thing you're going to do is wrap out this 15 millimeter bolt right here. I'm using air tools. Probably be a pain in the butt with the regular tools, but just slide that off. So let's go ahead, and you can see I'm going to blow all this out and clean this up, and then clean out the clutch itself. But let's go ahead and mosey over onto the bench. Well, alright, now that we're over at the workbench, we do have the clutch out here on the table. I did want to point out that this right here is actually loose when you go to pull it off the machine itself, but this pressure plate right here is actually spring-loaded. My model is the 2023. Not sure, because I know that there are a couple different clutches that they actually put on there, but the tools I'm using is my 3/8 Ugga and a hammer, roll pin punch, my ratchet, and this right here. I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way, but I am going to take this black paint marker and mark a line here and mark it right where it's going to go, so that way when I go to put it back together, I know where everything lines up and I won't mistake it when I go to put it back together. So now that that's out of the way, the next thing I did was, this is a piece of 3/8 threaded dowel rod I got from Home Depot with a nylon lock nut, and I just put another spare nut to jam on there, and so a couple extra washers, one extra nut, and I am going to use a socket. So now that we went over all that, let's go ahead and do this. First things first, I am going to take a washer And I am going to set it right through there, just like that. I'm going to use my socket. You can do this with just the washers, but I am going to do it just like this, and we're going to roll this right on down. I did keep mine long on account of there are a lot of other clutches, and also when you take this out, this plate lifts up so far to the point where, you know, you need that extra slack when you're done. So now that I've seated that, we're going to go ahead and take our wrench and just throw on there, and our ratchet and throw on the back side, and we're just going to go ahead and compress everything just enough. You ain't got to do it super tight, but my ugga dugga, I'm going to take these torque bits out, which they are blue Loctited on there, and the last thing you want to do is strip those out. So take them out, and go ahead and take that out, and that. Now that I got that, we're going to go ahead and unscrew this and take this back loose. So you'll see that I might have to hold it on the back side, but oops, I had it right to begin with. Alright, there we go. You bring that over. Alright. This is actually the first time I've done this. I just know through experience that this is what needs to be done. As you can see, the plate's starting to separate, and I'm bringing this out. Alrighty. Just going to go ahead and loosen that up. Alright, now that I got that loose all the way, we're going to go ahead and roll that nut back off there. I mean, this can be done without the dowel rod, but in the end, it will make your life a lot easier. And that just popped out. But as you can see, the cup right here sits on top of your spring. They do sell these rollers. They do sell these in the aftermarket, but that's not really what we're after right now. And then you can see right here how it rolls right in here. There's no grooving or nothing, but that is exactly where that rolls, and it just drops back down in there like that. If I can get it to go back down in there. There it goes. Right like that. So it shifts like that, and your spring, and we're going to drop the dowel rod out of there, and okay. So now that we got that loose, you can see it still doesn't come off because that's in the way. There are, if you can see, these little holes right here. And you can see, let me bring it closer here. You can see right here, there is actually a roll pin that we're going to go ahead and knock out. I am not going to knock this out all the way if I can help it. The best thing you can do is try not to knock it out all the way. So now that I got that set up, we're going to go ahead and knock that roll pin all the way out. You can see the roll pin right there coming out. I do not want to roll that out all the way if I can help it. But you do need to knock it out a good hefty little bit so you can get the actual, what's the name out of there? Oh, I got that stuck. Let me grab a pair of pliers here real quick. Let's go with these. Alright. Let me just go ahead and grab a hold of that and yank it out, because the end of that is actually a little bent for me doing other jobs and stuff like that, but it's alright. We're going to go ahead and knock that out. And you just want to kind of put your finger on the back side of that. Make sure you don't knock it out all the way. I'm trying my best not to. And I'm going to pop right on out. So, the next thing we are going to do is we're going to do, well, I kind of need these pliers anyway, but the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and pull this part out. If I can get it out, because these things are in there kind of tight. I might not have that roll pin out all the way. I was trying not to knock that roll pin out all the way, but it looks like I'm going to anyway, so I just might as well go ahead and knock the other one completely out and get it out of the way and get it over with. Alright, so there's the 2 roll pins that came with it. They do actually give you 2 brand new roll pins with it when you get the kit. So let's go ahead and take that apart, and now that those are loose, we should be able to get this out pretty fairly easy. I'm just going to go ahead and weasel those out. And the block, you can see where it's making contact, but what I want to show you is once I get these fully out, we're going to go ahead and look at the damage that these have actually made. Because, once again, like I said, yeah, there we go. Alrighty, so now that we got that apart, clutch comes out. You can see right here. This is the first, I haven't even made it to the first service on the thing, but if you look right here, this, if I can get it in there, this little gouge right where my finger is actually starting to wear into the metal. This side's not so bad. This side's not so bad. And this side wasn't bad. But this right here was actually the worst of it right there. So, now that we got that loose, we're just going to take a peek and look at the discs. You can still see there's no shine or nothing like that. I'm not going to have to break it down with some Scotch-Brite or nothing like that. But what we're here for is these rollers right here. So now that we got those loose, we're going to go ahead and drop this clutch right back on there. And I'm going to take these pins, just kind of wipe them off a little bit. I'm going to drop them back in there. And the next thing we're going to do is put the pins right back in. And you can see where the roller actually feels like it seats so much better. Just going to tap that back down in there. Whoop. And the next thing we're going to do is line up the hole for the roll pin to go back in there smooth. So I am going to take the new roll pin and get that started. If I can get my finger down in there. Might have to hold that with a pair of needle nose. Let me go grab a pair real quick. There we go. Nice set of needle nose. We're going to hold that roll pin right on down in there. And if I can get it straight. There we go. Just kind of want to get it started. And now that I got that in there, take the blunt end of that and take that. Trying to get this all straightened back in there. Let me get a better punch. Here we go. Flat top punch. There we go. Nice and smooth. We're going to get the next one. I'm going to wipe this off. And take that roller, stick back in there. Keep that straight up. And keep it straight up. And go ahead and set that backwards. And make sure it's right. And we're going to slide that roller down in there. And you can see the whole line up. Once we get that down in there, I'm going to take the punch and stick it down in there. Make sure it's lined up all the way. Get my new roll pin and for anybody just tuning into my videos and stuff like that, I do try to do my wrenching videos and not try to edit them as much as I possibly can, because I kind of honestly want you guys to see how much aggravation could possibly be involved in doing these jobs, or if you take it to the dealership, you want to see what they're charging you for. As you can see, there's not much wobble in that, and so the next thing we're going to do is, now that we got that apart, and we got these old roll pins and these old blocks. You can see the old blocks, how they've literally been weared on one side. But hopefully these rollers will help take away any of the jerk. When you especially the reverse jerk, I found that one to be the worst one out of them all. But let's go ahead and get this back together. So we're going to take our dowel rod, we're going to go back through, and we're going to drop our spring in. And you can see on the spring here, there's this little catch right there. There is a notch right here in the clutch basket for that. You're going to go ahead and stick that back in there. And we're going to go ahead and take that and sit that back down flush. Now we're going to line up our marks. Drop my socket back on. Drop that back on. And we're just going to reverse everything that we did taking this thing apart. Like I said, this can be done by hand, but if you can avoid that, I mean, by all means, make your life a lot easier. So let's go ahead and roll that back down. They actually do make a specialty tool for this, and it is like $60, $70, $80. It's kind of a little pricey, but if you want to be politically correct, I guess. As you can see, I loaded that down, got my marks lined up right here and here. We're going to go ahead and tighten that up a little bit, and we're going to start these by hand, because the last thing you want to do, because this clutch basket is aluminum. They do still have blue Loctite on these. I'm going to walk over to the box here in a second and grab some. I forgot to grab it, but now that I got those lined up, let me grab some blue Loctite real fast. Alright, now that I went ahead and blue Loctited all those, I am going to take this and just ugga-dugga it back on. I'm not going to go crazy with it. You are using blue Loctite on there. So, let me ugga-dugga those one more time. And now that I got that, let's go ahead and take this off, and I got that loose. Oop, I dropped my nut on the floor, but now that we got the clutch basket back together, you can see the rollers, and that is a beautiful thing. And now that I got that all snugged up back together, not too tight, didn't strip nothing out, we're going to go ahead and let me shovel this bike back on the lift and make some room, and we'll get on to putting this back in warp speed so we can get this thing outside and test ride it. Alright guys, now that I made it out to the forest, I've been riding this around for a little bit, that way I can make an actual judgment on how this thing actually makes it feel. It does feel a little bit better. I'll go forward here in a second, but the only thing that I was hoping it would have cleared up a little bit more is the reverse. I went ahead and dropped it in reverse. It's still got a little bit of a jerk when you you do go in reverse, but let me flip this camera around. Feel a little bit smoother. I mean, I wasn't expecting drastic changes out of those pucks, but if they definitely help out not wearing away the material of the clutch basket, you know, it's money well spent. I'll drop the links to the parts down in the descriptions, but I hope you guys are staying safe out there, and I hope this video helped somebody make a decision on whether they're going to go about doing this themselves, send it to the dealership. But it's all about me bringing you the little bit of information, that way you guys can make your decisions on what you want to do. But the next video up in the series is going to be me doing a full service on this RZR, so stick around, and I hope you guys are doing well. And go down below, hit like and subscribe, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.